5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
TA's 8-0 with an O.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. Oh, jeez. Seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Grimstroke.
Dire team pick.
Mars!
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Juggernaut.
Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Snide.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Elder Titan.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Roshan.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team banned.
Silvers. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Disruptor.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Naku! Lakad mo to!
Normally.
Choose your hero.
I don't think you're an R Dota 2. I think you're an R artifact for that type of review. Thank you, Nahaz. Zeus appear, Disruptor. We've got some interesting, different things to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the Brood pick kind of ruins everything Alliance had going for them. Until that last pick, I did favor their draft, but that is the strength of the second pick position, especially on the Radiant side, which is still favored in most games.
So the Brood doesn't work in mid for what reasons? Let's just run through that.
It doesn't work in mid? What?
Sorry, the Zeus doesn't work.
Oh yeah, you can't kill the spiders. You can harass the spiders, and I think in like 3 or 4 chains, if you spammed them, you would kill most of them. But the problem is that he'll just micro them away, and all of a sudden they regen to full HP, and then they're right back on top of you. You don't have the mana pool to sustain. You can do okay in the first couple of levels. I expect that he'll go for more of like a double null build, or just try and abuse damage, because you will have like 20 on Brood at the early levels. Of course, the Quelling Blade does neutralize that advantage. but as the levels and Spider Army grow, Zeus really has to just leave the lane. And if I'm Alliance here, I'm thinking maybe I put the Centaur against the Brood, at least later on into the game.
Блейда, они тогда справлялись на раз-два, тем более там играл как раз таки Ахфу, Инфлейм.
I'm taking it.
I'm seeing more and more players doing this, where they walk in range of the tower to see where the vision is, to see like try and find the observer ward. This time, like Tiger got hit by the tower, but the ward's on the other side, so we actually waste the sentry in mid lane. Bounty runes can be 3-1 split in favor of RNG. No contest on the bottom lane.
Yeah, and you can also see they're actually going to do what I think it might be ideal here, and the Centaur is just mid. Yep, you don't want Zeus there. Theoretically, the first couple levels can be okay, but as I said, like you have to rotate out at some point, so why not just put him against the CK Grimstroke combination? As long as you're able to keep your ET between you and the enemies, you should be fine.
It feels a little nicer as well, at least having like the ET with the Zeus early on, because that's that synergy you were looking to see Alliance utilize. And then Tiger can try and come in and push him hard, even though he's having a little bit of trouble on the bottom lane, gets hit heavily by the stuns. Just the issue in the other abuse, like we saw this time and time again during the minor. And Vorgessa, they were the ones who were always abusing this CK as well as Grimstroke, just the ink swell, and you reality rift, you just pull in whoever you want on top of you, and then you can save your stun for later.
It's pretty much any of these melee strength cores with stuns, right? The CK, the Sven, the Wraith King, anything with the Grimstroke just looks far more powerful because you get that immediate catch, double stun combo. Oh, look at this bomb.
Oh, actually just doing it again. Tiger wanted to come and harass. He had plus 61 damage. Now he makes a break for the tree line. That movement speed, but they cut through it. Ahfu finds the first blood on Alliance's dual offlane, unwillingly kind of running it, but Mickey looking for his own revenge into Lanham with the spin. They can't get a lot of damage in, and now maybe Flyby can't find his own target.
Really well played there by Lanham, just to continuously attack move. If he doesn't push for damage there, Mickey can just chase and potentially get the last hit.
Kind of like that from Flyby. I think he actually had the spear off cooldown when Mickey was running away, but he wanted to wait to try and cancel the salve, but ended up missing the spear.
Yeah, the bright spot for Alliance, though, is they did get the lanes they wanted, and Brood is not nearly as scary when you have this hero like Centaur that can sit in a lane and free farm against it. And it ends up favoring the Centaur, and Bo3 will have this excellent time in the game, and RNG need a huge game from their Brood to be able to take it. Their lineup doesn't scale as well as Alliance's.
This is nice for Mickey.
Yep.
He finally gets that catch-up that he was looking for previously. And it feels like Juggernaut, there's a lot of pressure. Like we've seen some Juggernauts that have really been underwhelming. And like, how does Juggernaut stand up against the damage output that can come from the CK and the control from the rest of RNG?
Oh, it's just Jug is a hero that has to be ahead, but from the laning phase to the mid game. Otherwise, you just start falling off. And thinking about it, even though the Brood pick was scary, which is still what I'm most concerned about if I'm an Alliance fan, you got to figure that they've got enough experience to be confident against this hero. They picked it before it became meta, and they definitely have a good understanding of what the weaknesses of the hero are. And you can already see like Bo3 double shield. This is classic whenever you're playing against the Brute Spiders. You increase the block percentage from 50 to 75%. And in addition, you block all of the damage from these little spiders. And then you just buy a Vanguard, and Setsu will be able to do nothing but watch Bo3 stand in lane and last hit freely.
Well, they're having some fun up on top lane. Mickey attempted to start off with Insania's wall. Ended up by catching the Sharpman in position there.
So far, so good for Alliance. Look, the bottom is well, you know, the CS is even, but I'd say that definitely favors Alliance when you consider both heroes are suffering, and they're free farming on both of their big cores at the moment. A passive game certainly is going to favor Alliance, because RNG, they want to push the tempo early, try and take these tier 1s by the 10 to 12 minute mark. It's important they make plays around the catapults, but that's going to be difficult. Like, where's the magic damage coming from that'll actually be able to deal with Bo3? Like, this is the highest strength gain hero in Dota 2 as a mid laner that'll be buying Vanguard by 6 minutes.
And he can push buildings. Like, that's the way he also can function. Koifa can do the counter pushing up as, nice 2 seconds. Stun, they realize the amount of damage the Tiger's got. He's moving down and hitting to Ahfu, but the stun control is way too good. And Alliance, once again, they feel like they can get a kill in this dual offlane, and once again, they get denied by RNG.
Yeah. And the CK had 14 wand charges as well. It's not as if he's going to fall off anytime soon down here. You got to just be less aggressive, I think. I'd love to see maybe some more creep pulls, because playing aggressively into CK Grimstroke, you're just, you know, how does a Zeus CT land a kill without a major error from your enemies? You don't have real disable, whereas Grimstroke, CK have multiple forms.
And actually, it feels a little like deceiving for the mid lane was the CS. 38-7 against the Brewmother, 24 for 9. Net worth wise, it's about 150 gold that separates the two of them.
Yeah, I think it's the XP that's more important, and the fact that Brood definitely wants to play aggressive side of the map, not just be relegated to his own jungle. But one of the things about this hero, much like TA, hold up bottom.
Yeah, here they go again. Just the 1 second stun from Monet doing try and ensure that Tiger can't walk this off.
No. After the changes to Ancients, now that there's only one camp as well, it's a super value spot to gain resources, but there's very few heroes that can actually utilize it early on in the game, and you'll notice that all of the ones that can't, notably TA, Sven, and Brood, are all meta. Specifically TA and Sven, who can actually do the stacks. Brood's just going to farm single camps up there, but you know, one of the reasons we see TA so much, not just because the refraction on deny, that's a whole other point, but you know, you can do ancient stacks by yourself at like level 8. That's just not okay. And Stampede up now, so Alliance can look to get aggressive. You'll have a Vanguard on Boxy in a moment as well.
Makes it actually kind of difficult for RNG to do any level of rotation. Like you're talking about taking Ancients, but like there's no hero that can just move in the lanes. The Shaman as well, the Grimstroke from RNG. Like where is their movement meant to come? Is it meant to stop Alliance?
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised that RNG just kind of gave Alliance this laning setup. I expected there to be some shenanigans. I didn't think that Alliance would just get Centaur versus Brood the entire game. This is ideal for them.
Unless RNG just like, you know what, the Broodmother's still going to win out at the end of the day, because like, I suppose the Centaur doesn't have to leave the mid lane, but it's fine, the Brood should never fall behind.
The thing is, bottom is not doing as well as you would hope, because they've fed a couple of kills to that Grimstroke CK combo, and sure, Mickey is farming top, but it's a trade, whereas bottom, Zeus has a very difficult time sticking into the lane, actually behind the Grimstroke significantly in net worth already. And it only gets worse here. They can go for a kill whenever they want.
Tiger's still very uncertain about it. Spirit into the stomp, just trying to create a little bit of space, having to move it a little bit further over. Let's get the double stomp, and Saini's rotated himself in. They want the kill on after Koifa, barely staying alive, moves into the tree lines, cuts through one, then jukes up to the north. Saini's got to body block it out, but no, she body blocked up Koifa instead. Couldn't get the right positioning for it, so Monet gets his crit in and finds the kill on the Zeus. While up on top lane, Mickey's in a lot of trouble. Hex is out. Into the trees, a quick healing ward. This may give him just enough life to be able to survive some long, like a little bit longer, but where's the support? One charges get burnt. The healing ward does get killed off. And RNG, well, you've got your first control, but there's no real follow-up from Flyby that can be utilized.
You're okay with that, though. Mickey, you know, that's all because the teleport bottom really heads up play by RNG. As soon as you see that a support has abandoned top, you immediately look to pressure the carry. And they're going to force the wand and a bunch of regen needing to be purchased. And bottom Koifa still, even with that rotation, it's nice. It gets them a little bit back into it, but there's still not much you can do to contest the CK, who's already doubled him up in net worth.
Yeah, they just try and hold in. If there's an opportunity, sure, they'll go for it, but the Elder Titan's functioning very much like just the babysitting off laner. Make sure the Zeus doesn't have a terrible lane. Make sure the CK doesn't have a free lane.
I'm curious to see how Boxy itemizes in this game, because he could theoretically just go for this super beast Centaur build. Like I envision maybe even buying like some heart third item, because there's no real method RNG have of killing him in this game if he gets himself strong enough. I think that if there were a game for not buying Blink, this would be it. It's especially because you have a disruptor, right? So in reality, you can play Centaur like a bristleback and trust that you'll always have catch behind him thanks to your 5 position. It'll be interesting to see what he looks to do here, because they also don't have that real initiation unless he does buy that Blink Dagger.
Well, right now he's just going through the normal motions. The chainmail, he's got boots in his quick buy, shackles are out. Now RNG, they bring the damage in, and we see if they can break through a Centaur. Mickey wants to help out, but they have enough damage. They get the Centaur down, and Mickey into the spin. They have Afu caught inside that static field, and they don't have enough damage to get the job done. Now Mickey slowed down, hitting him hard. A quick glimpse back, but you've already got the shackles. They get the kill onto the Juggernaut, and that's 2 quick core deaths from Alliance, and the pressure being applied to the mid-tier 1.
4 heroes mid. That was a great rotation from RNG, and it's all set up because Setsu has that medallion early. So even though you have a Vanguard on Centaur, it doesn't matter. He's taking near pure damage because he doesn't have the plus armor necessary to stay alive. Does not have the phase boots. The chainmail was still in place.
Just wants to keep it going. Kind of easy to find out where Tiger is. Boxy, hoof stomp down, holding 2 heroes. A quick double edge, clean up as much as you possibly can in the lines as the Spirit comes out once more. As Insani also caught in the tree lines. Lanham functioning with the rest of RNG.
Yeah, they've jumped out to this huge lead. I'm not even sure like how this happened. It's a lot of it is just the supports and again the bottom lane. Like look at Koifa right now. He's falling behind Lanham, and he's not even confident enough to go play bottom at the moment. Actually, just jungling with his ET because he recognizes that with Grimstroke off map, him +1 just ends in his death once again. He'll move there now because they see so many heroes top, and typical Chinese meta play. They're setting up for this catapult that'll spawn in 15 seconds, but they might not even need it. They're just going to go straight to the tower.
They get an easier initiation, a quick X out, they put the wall up, they just want the Juggernaut down, they're going to claim him. The perfect time, 5 seconds before the bounties will spawn up.
This is literally just Lanham. It's just Lanham walking at people.
A little cheeky from Bo3. He actually moved over to try and claim the bounty runes.
Have we seen a Stampede yet this game? I don't think we have.
No, we have not. To get in or out.
It's just strange because Bo3's been level 6 since like 4 minutes in. I'd figure they would have used it at some point, even if it's squandered, you know? It just feels like he's forgotten about that skill. Love what Setsu's done here as well. Just the Medallion Soul Ring Rush, so he's able to continuously sustain and farm as efficiently as possible straight into a Midas. So RNG recognizing like, you know, maybe we won't win into the mega late game, but right now we're ahead. Let's turn this advantage into economy, and then we'll just look to control the map, which they will have an easy time doing when you consider that Alliance's damage output and catch potential is very limited at the moment until Insania has more points and Glimpse and the cores have more farm, because right now, you know, Zeus and Jug are suffering.
Yeah, Koifa doesn't hit hard at all. Like he's like even with the combination with an ET, maybe this is a nice way to do it. So you'll get him caught in the wall. And Shaman will die. Koifa wants to kill secure, lets Thunder God's Wrath out, reveals RNG moving aggressively into the northern jungle.
They get the mid tower as well, which is quite nice. And Zeus is one of those heroes, especially with an ET. Like you don't need too much net worth, right? All of your damage comes from your spells. So in theory, so long as you're able to cast them, you're going to be just fine. Aether Lens and enough mana to spam for 30 seconds. That's effectively peak Zeus. And sure, you'd love the Veil and like an E-Blade Blink Ags, but really it's like Aether Ags, and that's your big spike. If you can get there without this game getting too far out of hand, I think Alliance will be in a fine spot. But right now, they got to deal with RNG playing super aggressive within their own woods.
Well, they're trying to avoid the Spirit. Stomp's going to come out, only ends up catching out in one. And that's fine for Monet.
Yeah.
He'll tank it through. The pressure's being applied towards the mid tower. It's just the Broodmother, and there's little Bo3 can do about this because he's worried. He doesn't have teammates that can easily get to him, and if they do, they get wrapped around behind.
The micro's so good as well. You can see Bo3 just caught between a rock and a hard place. He wants to prevent the spiders from hitting tower, but Setsu just continuously annoying him, microing both hero and minions at once. Drums now make he recognizes he needs to get a fight item stat, and it will be a blink dagger on Bo3, it appears.
Yep.
It's just because you can't find kills otherwise. They don't have setup for the stomp. Setsu will be able to finish this tower, perhaps. It's in deny range.
Yeah, the Spiders can just run back in and have another crack at it if they want to, but Tiger's got all the damage in the world, so one hit from him. And the mid-tier 1 tower will be denied. That leaves only one remaining outer tower. Yep. Remaining tier 1 tower for Alliance. That's on bot lane. Jump him. Afu looking for the target. Koifa not caught inside of the Arena of Blood. And Afu actually walked back into the Static Storm to die.
Yeah, I'd really like to see them rotate the lanes, though. Okay, they did actually. It's exactly what I would hope. Mickey goes bottom, and you put the Zeus top, because you want to alleviate this pressure from RNG and also control vision within the jungle. Mickey can lane bottom freely at the moment, because other than the Brood, there's no real way to pressure him during a spin TP. It would be raw physical damage taking him down. There's no interrupt.
Now he'll rely on the rest of his teammates to do the counter push. Bo3 has to come in and be the tank. He's the only real player on Alliance with net worth sitting just shy of 6,000. Almost 7,000 on the Broodmother. She has more pressure, and so does RNG. Smoke up on their two supports, but it's the problem of Flyby. Caught inside the wall, and no way to escape.
Yeah, just keep in mind, Alliance's draft is looking to get this game later. The ET Zeus combination is really peak strength when he's maxed out. Bo3 again, limited armor, taking a lot of damage.
Perfect chain stuns. May as well burn the Phantasm if they can find this kill. They're gonna need the extra damage for it. Just silence control. It's like the Centaur just never can walk himself away. They pull him back in with reality, but they still can't find the kill. They had almost 2,000 HP to break through. And Bo3 can just tank it out.
Centaur Gaming, boys and girls. That here, it's 14 minutes in. He's got something crazy like 3,000 EHP at the moment when you factor in armor and damage block. They blow everything from 3 heroes, and it's not nearly, well, it is nearly enough, but
He had 10 armor and 1990 HP.
decent.
Damage.
Yeah, problem is still for Alliance, you know, the Brood CK, the building damage is what's got to scare you, because you know if you make a mistake or two, your supports die, then the wave clear disappears. They can just march down a lane, drop Rost awards, Phantasm, and the Brood army all of a sudden just melts your buildings into dust. RNG also able to utilize Ancients far before Alliances. I think this is the 7th or 8th camp we've seen Sets take, and that's primarily responsible for his net worth lead on Boxy. Like, there's just no replacement for this super rich camp, by far the most value gold per damage required to slay. Actually, well, creep waves are technically more value, but there's a limited number of those, of course.
Always going to watch all angles, don't you, Kyle? Alliance are going to push in bottom lane, looking for the tier 1 tower. The pressure will come in return from RNG towards the tier 2 tower up in the north. And Boxy, he actually got the Crimson Guard ready to come out in the courier, as well as TP Scroll available, so if they want to move towards the north and defend this, they can do so with that plus damage, plus 244. Boxy's only being slowed up because of this fortification, but this is where Centaur's power really comes to fruition. But the trade-off is the Mass Serpent was down. Tiger will delay it with the ET Stomp. Here's your first TP, combining with a splitter. Boxy's going to arrive. Instant Hex from Lanami. Going to come in range of the ET splitter to make that work. And now you have your Arena of Blood. Flyby wants to be able to fight, but does he want to go into this? They've already killed off the ET. Boxy doesn't get bound to... Okay, now he gets bound to Insania, but it's a little too late. Maybe it's not. Stampede, Alliance retreat. No silence to control that Centaur. But the tier 2 tower will be guaranteed.
Very strange play from Alliance. I think Taiga, the initiation's cool, but when Taiga walks forwards to start auto-attacking, it gets very questionable. And you've got a nice timing spike here. Setsu with the Diffusal Blade, very powerful. And I do like what Boxy did, however. He's going for the Crimson pre-blink. I think it's necessary. Initiation would be nice, but right now, you don't want to be fighting RNG. They are far too strong, and your cores are just too far behind. Aetherland's picked up on Lanham. He's had an excellent game thus far.
Yeah, it's going to get even better, but you're right with the Crimson Guard, because now where does the damage output come from RNG? Like, it was definitely there. Chaos Knight, like, his Phantasm and himself won't do as much work. Not while that Crimson Guard is up. So they kind of have to wait it out or forever just hold him in the Arena of Blood.
And it's one of those... oh, hang on.
Nice pickup. Flyby just pushing back this Centaur. They couldn't do it before, even with Crimson Guard triggered. Boxy cannot survive. They're getting stronger, and they're proving it.
Alliance just playing too split around the map. They're doing their typical playstyle where they're in 3 lanes at once. But RNG, specifically thanks to their supports, they have too much lockdown. Boxy's tanky, but there's no one behind him. So even if it takes 10-15 seconds, they're still going to be able to burn him down. And I love what RNG is doing. Both cores after the Midas get 1 value item, the Armlet and the Diffusal respectively, into straight BKB. They're going to get a Roche, and they're going to look to go try and end game with a couple of pickoffs. And to me, an underrated mechanic, not mechanic really, but just drafting, it goes back to these Ancients. Alliance has had a quad stack this entire game. No one has farmed these Ancients, whereas the Broodmother has cleared his own 10 times. That's like a 2,000-3,000 gold swing that Alliance has no method of gaining at the moment because they don't have a hero that can farm that camp.
Alliance are going to try and defend this. Boxy's already arrived. They're looking for Monet and Sania waiting right behind him. He'll glimpse him back in again. And the wall, but no, Phantasm dodges it, and then he's still happy to go back in with the Reality Rift, pulling onto the Centaur. Careful with 5 to ET splitter. It does hit hard, and RNG start to back themselves out. It's too much chain lightning damage. They get through the CK with a Stampede forward, then overland him.
About time.
Mop up the Mass Serpent Wards, and Alliance find themselves winning a fight for once.
Yeah, you got to be careful there. That was a really... It's always an easy play for CK. Anyone worth his salt, and you know, Monet certainly is going to be able to Phantasm dodge the Glimpse with ease. One of the easier spells to dodge in that regard. And finally, you know, Alliance, they get involved. They have the Veil, they have the Aether Lens on Zeus. His damage output is insane. Does Taiga have points in Spirit yet? Or not Spirit, but the Aura, because...
He's a 3-4-1.
Okay, because that's the big power spike for Alliance. When he gets maxed out aura and all of a sudden all magic armor is removed, all base armor is removed, it changes the damage output of the Alliance heroes, and all of a sudden Zeus plus spin is more than enough damage to kill these cores. But that's where the BKB becomes a factor.
He's itemizing to get there, so he's he's finishing up the soul ring now, so he's got the easy consumables, but he's got hand of minus and the quick buy for the next item. So understanding that levels,
and the high ground
really
of Alliance. If you think about it, they will be able to stand so far back near almost their own tier 4s and defend. Like, they're not really pressed for time. They will be able to outscale. It's just that right now RNG is mobilizing for this huge push window at like 20 to 25 minutes, and I feel like they've got control of this game for another 10. Alliance playing for that 30 plus mark, where all of a sudden your Jug's on the 4th item, your Zeus has the Ags, and you've got the levels necessary to take these big team fights.
Flyby with the blink forward was hoping to get some kind of control on Bo3. It's nice observer has already been planted down. So Alliance as well as RNG have a lot of vision over the hillside.
Yeah, dude, these spirits are going to make Taiga so beastly. If he gets a couple of heroes and all these spiders, I'm curious to see how fast he's moving right now.
So he'll come in, he goes from 361 to 485. He's got plus 753 damage.
What?
Not kidding. It's 85 plus 753 damage. Remember, there was the buff up for the hero, like the hero gain damage.
It was an army of spiders, but this is
it was an army.
All according to plan. You get the bounty runes top on RNG, you immediately move into Roshan. What do you know? A very timely DD rune just outside of the pit. This is a tough fight for Alliance to take here. They're thinking about it though, but Bo3, I don't know if he's tanky enough to make this play by himself.
The ET Spirit's gonna have a look. So it can slow him down. Setsu, with the double damage, they need to stomp just to delay it up, but Setsu just walks himself out of the pit, so Roshan's the only one that gets stunned up.
Wards are fading though. You could think about this, Alliance.
He's almost there. Plague Wards have just a little bit longer, but they'll be long enough. Spirit comes back in again. Roshan killed by Radiant. They've already got the Aegis Immortal onto the Brood Mother. And Flyby just separates the team fight. Bo3, no way he can get back in. The Arena of Blood is takes someone to walk around the Coliseum. Taiga will finish his own TP away to safety, but they're keeping the chase going. Insania at the tier 2 tower. He just wants to get invis, but they want Koifa. Drops down the lightning bolt. He'll need some extra help. Insania, what are you going to give? He has the ultimate. He'll give nothing. They'll just let Koifa die. And in fact, with that follow-up Hex, RNG just keep going. They want to, but Taiga, a 3-man sleep.
They're doing a creep wave. It's still backed by their own dead tier 1. And man, I hate to see that, Toby. It's like the most frustrating way to take a Roche fight is that you initiate late. Not even initiate. Roche is dead, but you're now like, oh wait, shit, we gotta get out of here. But you lose 2 for nothing. They've already taken the big objective. You've had Mickey TP from where he was farming safely in the aggressive off lane back to just watch and then retreat into his own jungle again. It just big miscue there from Alliance, and it put them in a whole 10k lead now in favor of RNG. And we were talking about the power spike, this double BKB. It's very tough for Alliance to do anything. The Insania Disruptor ineffective at the moment, and they need more time.
They're really trying to find ways where they can counter push, as you said. Like, so Alliance can buy that time. The ET Spirit slows everything down. And if they do want to run in closer onto Taiga, like, he brings that Spirit back every time, and he's always around plus 600 to plus 700 damage on the ET. He will hit hard if he can survive.
Yeah, that's going to be the big problem, because both Brood and CK also hit quite hard, and they don't need a Spirit to do it.
He actually switched off. He's not going the mice, going the BKB. I think Taiga's turning, like, realizing he has to turn into the fighter. Another mass up and more committed, so the tier 2 tower will end up falling. Top tower is the trade-off from Mickey, working with the catapult wave. They're being very uncertain about things. Lamb's moving up. Dyer will still claim the top tower.
Oh, I don't know about this item on Koifa. I think you need an Ags ASAP. You got to be able to kill these supports in the back line.
Yeah, Blink, what's he looking for? Is just like a jump out positioning when RNG initiate?
He wants to kite, because right now the only